I guess we can turn that off now. Okay. Hi Suli, hi Bewitch, hi Dragon Girl, hi Skittle. We're making mac and cheese. The first step to making mac and cheese is mac. So I just take like a nice handful of salt into the water. We've got to boil our water to cook the macaroni first. While we're doing that, I have cheeses, and I need to make them into more melting friendly shapes. If you ever wonder why the hell I unwrap my cheese and put these labels on top of them, it's because the labels have my location on them. The store prints its identifier on the back, so I take it off. I have a very specific reason for doing it. To me, mac and cheese should always include Gruyere and cheddar. What you do beyond that, up to you, whether you want intense or mild cheddars and... No, it's because I don't want to accidentally flip it over and have where I live shown. Like I did once, and then had to edit that out of the FOD. Fontina is the hardest of the three. We're going with a milder Fontina this time. I wanted a stronger flavor for the grilled cheese, but for this, I really just want the creaminess. Bel Gioiosa Fontina barely even deserves to be called a Fontina. But we're getting... good meltiness, a little bit of flavor out of it. I haven't had Bel Gioiosa Fontina in ages. Does this even taste like anything? No? Okay. Yeah, it tastes like a really mild Fontina. But it does taste like something. Skittle doesn't have favorites. He loves everyone equally. But if he did have a favorite, it definitely wouldn't be you, Dragon Girl. Look, Bewitch, when you figure out how I can send you cheese through the screen, let me know. It's called a joke. What's the line from The Simpsons? Honey, Daddy doesn't have a favorite. He loves everyone equally. He just loves some of you more equally than others. Is it the one who says you're not allowed to have knives and fire? We've got... so that's Bel Gioiosa Fontina. This is like 18-month Gruyere, so I think it's 18. Cave-aged Gruyere out of Switzerland. Where is your goddamn label? That's the cheddar. That's a Fontina. Is the Gruyere label still on the table? I am fucking blind. Oh, cave-aged over 12 months. Yeah, I am fucking blind. See, Dragon Girl, you're not the unfavorite. You're just easy to miss. That's better, right? Wait, people give you knives? Do they have death wishes? I love just how much mac and cheese, which is like this quintessentially American dish to most people, is actually French. First of all, Thomas Jefferson, who's largely attributed with bringing it to U.S. shores, learned about it from his time as the ambassador to France. And two, like, the core of making mac and cheese is making bechamel, which is one of the French mother sauces. Like, this is supposed to be, like, a big-time rustic American dish. It's like, no, this is actually, like, classically French. This is one of the things you learn to make, like, off the bat. It's one of the core bits of French cookery, is making a cheese sauce, which is 90% of mac and cheese. And then this is Beecher's. 26 months, so we're on the sharp side. I chose Beecher's because Beecher's is from Seattle and I just came back from there. That was my logic. Just pick a decent cheddar. Sharp, mild, take your pick. We're going to shred everything and then just kind of toss it so it all... I mean, I think that's called a self-burn, Dragon Girl. You're only my favorite because the other two options suck even worse. I think our store sells goodies. Hi, Young. I shredded the cheese. You want to not be stuck in there? That looks like an acceptable amount of cheese, right? Kind of want to, like, mix this through. At this point, I'm mostly just... I have time to kill. I want the three, like, mix so I don't have to worry as much about pockets in the final process. Mostly right now I'm waiting on, Hey, Master. Mac and cheese is everyone's favorite dish, or they're a goddamn liar? I'm waiting for the water to boil. This is one of those times when it would be nice to have 2 burners, but I don't. So... Because if I had a second burner, I'd be starting on the bechamel at this point. Skittle, just have a lactate and suck it up. Skittle, we know that you would eat the 1 kilogram cheese pizza and wonder why your tummy hurts. If you're not aware of the 1 kilogram cheese pizza, you should look it up. Domino's Japan started selling a pizza that is literally a kilogram of cheese. Hey, Scribe. The water's boiling. The most important time to stir your pasta is immediately after you add it. No whole fresh lobster, no caviar. This is basic bitch mac and cheese, except, you know, good cheese and it's not coming out of a blue box, but you know. Of course I salted it like the fucking sea. The water is saltier than me. This is how I salt my water. Oil? No, you don't need oil. You do not need oil in your water. No. Like, in culinary school, we did studies on this. It does not affect keeping the pasta from sticking to itself, and it actually prevents sauces from sticking to the pasta. The deep fry, I don't have one of those. Sometimes I turn this into a deep fryer, like when I made sufgani oat and buñuelos. Dutch ovens are fantastic. Salt the ever-living crap out of your pasta water. You don't need oil. You just need pay attention and stir it every minute or two at the beginning. Enjoy your mayhem, young. Skittle, did you just hit up a couple times and hit enter again? Skittle, do you just have a clipboard of messages where you accuse people of being artists? You're a cat. Honestly, I wouldn't even be surprised. I need to go get colander set up. Watch the water boil. Enjoy. If you want to, like, sing double double, toil and trouble, it's fine. I don't care. I've never done art in my life. There's definitely no photographic evidence in any channels of my Discord of me doing art. Look, Young, there's 2 things you can do on this stream. You can watch water boil or you can watch paint dry. But I haven't painted in a while, so you're stuck with water. If you ever want to mess with a traditional art streamer, just say that their stream is basically like watching paint dry. I should figure out where... Well, there's one of them. Why is it there? This will do for the other. I need pot holders. I didn't know where I'd put them. Seed Skittle, it's a cat fact. It's a fact. The stream says it's a fact. You can't put lies in facts. It's a fact. Why would Dragon Girl want to go to your orthodontist appointment? It's your orthodontist appointment. Also, enjoy your braces, nerd! Or whatever, I don't know. Why would you... Daylight is in school! We can't... There's no money for travel, we're in school! Yeah, but she also has no money because in school. And no time because in school. Did you break it again? I don't know enough about braces to even know what a bracket is. But I'm gonna imagine that it being broken is suboptimal. Wait, I didn't think you were graduating yet. Dragon Girl, does Daylight have more degrees than you? I thought the rubber bands were attached to the teeth. I have 3 degrees. And a minor. Still a bit longer. Though we're going to be baking that, so because you're going to be baking this after you mix it with the sauce, you want to cook these not as far as you normally would. So like normally you go to al dente, which means to the teeth, which means like a very little bit of resistance. No mind horse, but I do have mind food. So like, because I'm going to be baking this at the end, that's good. Some of the pasta stuck. Shut up! You can shut up for the second. The second. Not a second. The second. I'm so good at words. Okay. You can turn back on. You want some heat, but not quite as much. And we start by making a roux. Butter. There's our macaroni. At some point I should get a baking dish, but I can grab that when this is getting the milk added into it and thickening down. Where's my pepper? Pepper, cayenne. Yep, that'll do. The 3 secrets to French cooking are butter, butter, and butter. We don't really want to brown this because we're making a light roux. If you're making like etouffee or most Creole cooking built on a roux, you want a deep roux. Do I need more flour? That's going to be the question here. You want roughly equal parts butter and flour. Yeah, I need more flour. Spread, that's AP. Flour is raw. Please cook fully before enjoying. Yeah, that's why you don't eat raw cookie dough. Not a ton more, but that might have been too much. Oh well. Okay, yeah, that was a touch too heavy on the flour, but not to the point that it'll be a problem. We mostly just want to cook the flour is most of your goal here. Yeah, I added more than I meant to. Sometimes it just comes out faster than you're expecting. Yeah, I haven't made from scratch mac and cheese in a while. I want to get this mix through. Probably. The very beginning, you want to be stirring a lot to help it incorporate. Later on. Because that's what 2% is here. Once you've got a little bit in, then you can whisk it down. Or a whole bunch in and whisk it. And now we're just going to cook this so it thickens. At this point, we start to season. You do not need to add salt to this, really, just because of how salty the cheeses are. You can make a call at the end if you need to add more, but at this point, it's like a pinch if that. I like a hefty dose of black pepper. A little bit of cayenne. But not so much it actually goes spicy. And fresh grated nutmeg. Anytime I make something with milk as a main component, fresh nutmeg. There. Basically, one nutmeg. I don't know. Don't make it weird. Stop it. I can hear you. You're making it weird. I think black pepper can be overused. But, like, because like my training is classical French and Italian, and they use so much black pepper, like they just kind of consider salt and pepper to be ordinary. I salt and pepper everything. Hey, philosopher.
Nom, nom,
Nom,
nom,
nom, nom,
nom,
nom, nom, nom.
nom.
Where are we gonna get 2 megs from? Also, nobody likes meg. We can't stop Dragon Girl from making it weird. We've tried. Okay, now mostly from here, it's, we cook that until it starts to thicken up. Starts. You don't need it really thick because you're going to add the cheese, and that's going to add a lot of thickness. Now's the point where I should probably grab a baking dish. And preheat the oven. I don't remember the last time I was on Craigslist. You don't want the roux to be quite as, like, solid. A little bit of liquid left to it. I added too much flour. Probably add, like, a half of what I added in that last bit. Nah. I also might have had the burner on this a touch high, too. Why? Are you a coward, Daylight? I thought you could be trusted with knives. Wait, we're supposed to be forklift certified? Ah, crap. Dragon Girl, how many of her friends has Daylight stabbed accidentally? I whisk this heavily, not so much because I need to like constantly mix it, but because the process of whisking it lets me see how it's moving, which really tells me more about its thickness than anything else. We're gonna need this when we add the cheese, so you can go hang out in there. I mean, I didn't ask Daylight, but, you know, you're agreeing, so fine. I basically want to see that the milk is starting to reduce, that the roux is thickening up. Basically, this step is a bechamel. Technically, to be a true bechamel, there should be a raw onion in this that you take out at the end. I don't know why. But that's all mac and cheese is you make bechamel, and you add cheese to it, and then you mix it with macaroni. I prefer to use cavatappi. That's the little, like, corkscrewy ones. They're like elbows, but they corkscrew. They have a... I know what I mean. They're like a tube. There's like a tube and they corkscrew. As opposed to rotini, which is just like a corkscrew of pasta, no tube. I'm gonna get a spoon to see flavor-wise. The internet is a series of tubes filled with cats. Indeed. That's honestly a good indication it's thick enough too. We swipe and it doesn't fill back in. Yep. Where'd my towel go? My towel's in the kitchen, isn't it? Okay, once this is thick enough, take it off the heat. Pour some cheese where it doesn't belong. We'll grab that in a minute. Some of it melted, don't worry. It'll be fine. We have enough cheese. Fold in it at first, and then we slowly mix it around until it's all melted in. We want this to be smooth, and the heat of the bechamel should do that. You can see that the lumps are starting to work themselves out. There's still some left. You want to keep going until no lumps. There's like one lump there that doesn't want to work itself out. Some things are worth the effort. Taste testing time. He's good. It's allowed to not have fluorescent orange. If you want the fluorescent orange color, you can just use orange cheddar. But it's like... if I wanted a fluorescent orange, I'd just make Kraft mac and cheese. Vamp's just like, work? All I have to do is sit here and watch him and salivate. I need 2 hands for this part. And my towel is out here. Look, if you use food dye, you can turn it whatever the hell color you want. I made a lot of cheese sauce. Like, probably too much cheese sauce for the amount of macaroni I made. Oops. Maybe tomorrow I'll pick up more pasta and I can just, like, make up some trays of this to freeze to pull out randomly. No, Lone, there isn't. I have one more thing left to do. The oven did just preheat. I said I had one more thing left to do. Just cleaning up a little. I need a bowl and some spices for this. Garlic powder, oregano, basil, red pepper. There's all kinds of things you can do for the topping. Goldfish crackers ground up, pretty good. Cheez-Its is another option there. A lot of times I just do breadcrumbs. These are unseasoned, so I am seasoning them. These give you a little bit of crispiness on the top. I think they help a lot. So that was garlic powder, basil, oregano, and red pepper. Mix it together, and then nice liberal dusting over the top. And now this goes in the oven for about 45 minutes to an hour. I come bearing an important message. Mac and cheese. Got it. Which means I'm going to finish up this day. Then we're going to send you off somewhere. Because I want mac and cheese.